Oh, a new order came through. Atlas Protogen base. Default build, no unique or distinguishing markings or factors required. Just a, base of the line. Protogen. So we can get that arranged. Do we have any stock in order? Not in Bay 2, not in Bay 4. Oh, okay, we got one in Bay 1. Let me just go through and I'll start the system to get the Protogen up and out the stasis system. Okay. Shouldn't be too long. Get them on the table behind me and then go through with the induction. So we're going to initiate the startup of this here. Machines are just going to come down, power you up, and once that's been finished, we'll go through the boot up sequence with you. It's not going to hurt, it's not going to take too long, so just sit back and relax while the machine does the work. Right, turning it on now. Like it's gone through without a hitch. Hello. You should be able to see me right now. I do see that there is a little bit of cosmetic damage on your visor and some down on your chassis here, but nothing I can't iron out. If we just assess the other parts of your body, your legs seem to be fine. A little bit more damage down below there, but we'll work through that. Some old machine tends to happen with these, with newer models like yourself. We still just need to patch up the parts that wasn't quite complete with the automated side. With that there, I've got this wonderful tool. It's essentially just one of these arms here, but a little bit more precise. I'm able to do the finer parts that's on your side there, on your chassis, and just on your thigh. So I'm just going to work through with starting on your face here. Finishing touch. There we go. Thighs is as good as can be. We'll start on your plating here. Let me just come around the side here so I can get a better angle of it. just the part that attaches to the breastplate didn't quite fit on. You know, that falling off midway through the orientation. Let's circle around with this welder. Alright. Yep, that's that. And just your left leg that I need to work through now. So let me get a start on that. And of course, if you are feeling anything, whether it be this weird burning sensation or anything interference-wise, just make a beep, do some form of sound at me. Hopefully I was able to activate your ability to make sounds. We'll have to go through and double check that. You notice some small little branches of the sword around this area here. So that's the plating secured on there. Your right leg seems to be fine. I'm just gonna go through and iron these out here now. So hanging in there? You haven't made any noise yet, and you don't seem to be too uncomfortable, so everything seems to be as good as can be so far. What you'll be assigned to, I'm not entirely certain. I don't get given that information from my end. I just get tasked with getting you operational, up and running, and making sure that you're not going to fall apart the moment you're actually needed for your, your job of sorts. You seem to be more of just a standard model, nothing too out of the ordinary about you. So I can't expect you doing too much tricky work. I mean, if you're even working. Just a little bit more on your face here. Getting you as presentable as possible. Tries best to get you on the other hand. Okay. Visor could do with a little bit of a wash as well, actually. Let me just I imagine these visors have just been sitting in storage for a bit, so they've probably collected a little bit of dust and such. When you go through calibrating your ability to see as well, making sure that you're actually seeing me as I should be and not something else or in a different color or a different sort of resolution of sorts. So add that on the list of things to do. However, that seems to be just your cosmetic assessment complete. Passing as should be. I'll need to bring you over to a different operating table of sorts just so we can go through calibrating your ability to see, your visual input, and get you connected through to see if there's any problems with that there, see if there's anything I might need to iron out, maybe even get inside of your head and just ensure that all the cables are plugged up correctly where they should be. So let's get you there. And if you could, big guy, just sit in that chair there, and we'll go through with the rest of the examination for you. making sure you're sat in here. Everything seems to be hooked up as is. There's just the one last thing I need to do. Just linking your visor to the one at back there. There we go. So with you being connected all to this machine, it's just going to assess your visual stimuli, how you respond to things in front of you, and with given tasks, are you able to follow those as expected? Your auditory receptors, making sure that you're picking up sounds at the correct volumes, it's not coming through either too quiet or too loud, and lastly, essentially, just making sure that you're running as a standard Protogen. There's nothing in your hardware or software that might be going haywire or anything, and if there is, then hopefully I should be able to get that sorted, get that fixed, and get you on your merry way. We will start off with the visual side of things. So starting off with the visual side, there's a few tests that we're going to run. The first is quite simple. It's quite traditional of these kind of exams. It's a simple, just follow the finger. Very standard as it is. So you'll see this here, this wonderful finger. If you could just have your attention focused to it, I'm going to move it around, and if you can just keep following it, we'll have the monitor just essentially assess how that tracking is with it and if there's any adjustments needed. So just follow it, and that's all you need to do. Just going to bring this other finger in as well. I will just want you to switch this finger, and on the prompt of it, I would want you to go to the other one afterwards. So still on this one for the time, just to the top here, and if you could switch to the other finger. Alright, that's great. And if you could switch to the other finger right now. And the other finger. Right, that's great. Looks, all things considered, that looks like it's as smooth as can be. So onto the next visual test. Right now, you're going to just see a little pop-up sequence. It's going to show multiple squares. I'm going to essentially task you with looking at a specific square out of those lot there, and I would need you to avoid looking at the other squares. All that matters is that you look at the one that you are being prompted to look at, essentially. So I'm going to just stand back here. You should see the things should just come from the side here, roughly this general direction anyways. And if you could, just start off with looking at the left square. Okay, that's went through fine. Could you look at the middle square? Okay, the top left one. All right, the middle one. Okay, the right one. The bottom left one. Seems like there's no problem with it, so we'll just finish up a few more. The top left. Could you just look at the top left one again? Okay, and the top right. And the top middle as well. Okay, the latter part there seemed to have a little bit of a malfunction with it. It was just more of the upper region. It seems like there was a little bit of a problem. I'll just have that noted down, of course. Make sure that that is ironed out before we leave you, pack you away from this little area here. But we will just go through and get that sorted. I'm just going to just jot down the notes there, just say there's a bit of problems on the upper part of your vision. Just have that sent through, and we'll see about just assessing one of the machines back there, just to essentially rewire anything up there, make sure the visor's not faulty, or any of the wires that might be pushed into your visor. But we would be going on to your auditory stuff afterwards. Let me just get this noted down real quick. Upper region of visor experiencing problem with subjected. Okay. Hopefully that's the only note I need to write down about you. We'll want to get a start on the auditory tests now. The first one's going to be quite simple. I'm just going to flicker my pulse here at a certain ear. I just want you to, of course, respond to which ear you're hearing that noise come through to. So for the first part, I'll tell you which one I'm doing it in, so you can get an understanding of which is which. So this will be to your right, and then this one will be to your left. Right. As mentioned, I'm not going to be telling you, so. Okay. Okay. Good. Right. I'm just going to bring that a little bit closer as well. So that seems to be good. I'm just going to now do a flicker and drag it far away from your ear. If you could just give a little nod or a little indication that, when that sound has dissipated and it's no longer, audible there. So I'll just be doing it from the start of the ear. Okay. And the okay, that seems to be as normal as can be. I will just pull it over to a certain direction now. If you can just, of course, tell me what direction you can hear it in. It's going to come out from a far end and then in. So the moment you start hearing it, if you can just tell me when you hear it there. Okay. All right. Just going to bring this one a little bit up. Same thing on this one here. There we go. Me looking at it kind of gave it away there, so we'll just do that again. Right. I believe that's everything as smoothly as can be with that one there too. I would just want to check around your ears, make sure there's not anything that might be debris stuck inside, whether there's been some sort of error with the soltering of the parts or anything of the sort. So I'm just going to inspect your leftmost ear first. So in interesting thing about your models is you actually have 2 ears per side. There's like one that shoots around the back here, and another one that's pointed upwards. I'm honestly not exactly aware of why that's the case, whether it's a cosmetic thing, or if it serves a great, benefit to you, if you can hear from, different positions, if you're able to locate others at, more precise detail of sorts. It's beyond me. But yeah, having 4 ears in total is certainly an interesting trait. But nothing that looks to be wrong with these 2 ears here, so that's good. I'm just gonna go over onto your other ear now. And it's the same thing here, 2 ears. As don't seem to see anything that would indicate a fault of sorts. I think your ears came out pretty well, things considered. Your bottom ear actually. Closer inspection, it does seem there might be something lodged in there. Maybe it's just a bit of the materials that I used to get these created just got stuck in there, falling out somehow during the creation process. Let me grab something to pull that out real quick. So I've just got these little pliers, little tweezers of sorts here. I'm just going to try and get a good grip of it. It's not too deep in there, it's just sort of blocking the passage. Just being very careful not to scrape the insides of your ear like an organic ear. It's sensitive on the inside, and any sort of damaging would be, hindering your ability to hear. And I'm gonna be surgical with this. There we go. Yeah, there's just a little bit of the material left in there, so I'm just gonna do another little run of tests for that there. I didn't notice anything with your ears being, noticeable, but just to run them again. So same thing, quickly. Which one, left or right? Okay. Alright, that seems great. And of course, just dragging them away. Okay. Alright, and lastly, just pulling them in. Alright. Alright, that's great. Yeah, I don't notice anything out of the ordinary with that. But one thing that I am kind of responsible for is just scruffing up your fur a bit. So before I get you up out of this chair and go through the final little touches, making sure everything's as is, I'm just going to quickly brush and just clean up your coat a bit. So I do do have a few sounds here in this box. I'm just going to put them up to your head, and they're going to just click into your ears. It's going to play a little soundbite, and if all things are nominal with your systems, that should just come through nice and clear for you. I'm just going to grab this one here, and just there we go. So do you hear that? There's audio waves coming through from the other monitor from what I can see, so it seems like you are understanding that. That's great. Let me just pull that from you. And get a different one this time. I dropped one. Look at that before the end of this test. There we go. And that seemed like it came through as well. Presuming there's no audio problems on your side as well. That's great. Place you there. We'll do one more in this ear, and then we'll check over in the other one just in case there's any problems, because there was that thing that was lodged in there. I don't know if it's possibly messed up with the port on the side, but you know, that's what we had to test. Which sound? This one's a favorite. Right. No problems with that, that's great. Okay, so your left side is as great as can be. I'll just check on this side here now. So this one. Okay. You really have that? Okay, that's good. That was on the one that wasn't blocked. I'm half expecting this will have some difficulty, but we'll see, of course. Right. So this is going to be going into the one that had that little blockage there. Just yeah, no, it's definitely messed with the port, whatever that was there. Okay. Last one, just that's come through there, but it's a little bit muffled from the prior port or something messing up with the circuitry back there. Okay, I'll quickly note that down, but I believe I know how to fix that. So just say that. Note 2 right lower ear foreign object in lingering audio big pause, I'll tell you that. Anyways, I believe if I just go around and clean around that port, hopefully we'll be able to find out what's causing that problem. I believe it's just that port being filled with the like the polymer of the sort, or whatever material you use to make the ears part. Let me just get my yep, and I'm just going to press the screwdriver just up against it and see if I can kind of scratch the stuff out, being very mindful not to actually scratch the lining, the inner side of your ear. Okay. Hold it in there. That's good. You've not had that many problems, thankfully. I know some of the prior batches that come through, not botched, but not really in great shape either. Took like 2 days of maintenance before they were acceptable. Seems like we've ironed out the process now. You're the cleanest you've came out yet. But a little bit of TLC doesn't hurt before we send you out, Okay, I believe that's as clear as can be. Just gonna try one last time. Unlucky pit of sounds. See what we can get. It seems like it's showing through a lot more clearer now. The fact that it's actually picking it up is improvement. Well, an improvement. Just drop that somewhere in your fluff. I'll pick that up later. Okay. If I recall, oh yeah, your visual. Was the upper part here that you experienced a bit of difficulty with. I just want to see if I can find what's possibly causing the problem. If I can't, then we might just need to see about replacing that visor of yours. So let me just gonna brush through your hair here and just see if I can find the wire that leads to the visor. No, it's not that. They put in different areas for each, generation of Protogen. It's like you don't really necessarily have a manual of sorts. So I can't assess that. You know what, your visor came out a bit fully as is, so I think what we might be best off just doing in general is giving you a fresh little replacement. In regard to your heads-up display anyways, you're following, ability seems to be fine. It's just that heads-up display being a bit faulty and not being able to calculate the top part is going to be a bit of a problem for you later on down the line. I'm just going to have to disable your vision real quick. I'm just going to do that on the monitor. I will see about getting a new heads-up display chip installed in you real quick, and we'll get that up and running and go through with that test again. So you're going to see black, or whatever you would see on your end, maybe something that just says no signal, something along the lines of, it'll come back in just a moment. Okay. If I've done that correctly, you should still be able to hear me, but just not see me. With that, I'm gonna just get this chip from the box. Now, I'm just gonna pull this back here. My screwdriver again, and just that's out, okay. And then we just need to put you in there. Just being careful not to clip it or anything of the sort. Okay, and then just a snap of that. There we go. I'm going to reactivate your vision in just a moment. We'll run through that same little program that we've done before, and praying for your sake and mine that that's up and running. And there you go. I believe that's showing up there for you, so that's good. And as we mentioned, and it's the test before, just look at the boxes and, well, look specifically at the one I'm telling you to. So, should be on the side here now. Could you look at the middle box? Okay. And if you could look at the top left box, please. Okay. And the middle one again. Okay. And the top right one, please. Okay. The middle one last time. Okay, let's swipe through that. And the top right one again. Alright. I'm happy to say that's went through as successful as can be. I'm just going to finalise my little notes here, just essentially assess what's gone on, what I've done to repair you in case you need to come back here for whatever reason, and hopefully we can get you shipped away very soon. Malfunction with auditory and visual senses has been fixed. New chip installed and clearing of dock on ear. Subject sent to finalization before doesn't really say actually where you've been sent to. there's not really any instructions actually. And normally with the other bots that come through, we get a sort of list to say, you know, send them through to this specific industry, you know, and whatnot, with like a shipment of multiple of them. But for yourself, it's more of just like a free agent of sorts. Normally, you would be sent into like a stasis and then, you know, sent through, but if I put you in stasis, there's not really anyone to come pick you up. So I don't want to do that now after all the work I've done on you. I can't really put you back in sleep as well. that would be inhumane. Well, give me a moment. So, there's no, you know, cases to pick you up or anything of the sort. There's no one here that has placed an order, and by that logic, there's nothing holding you from just leaving here. And, you know, if you do decide to just walk out the door and just explore the world as is, if you feel you know, that sense of purpose coming back to you, or if you just need maintenance, you can just come back to me and I'll, you know, do as I've done today and look after you, make sure that you're functioning as good as can be. But with that being said, I hope you enjoy your new life. And the door's right there. You just, your choice.